Good evening, welcome to the Professor Maima show. Hope you are doing well from wherever watching me from around the world. Today is a very sad day in our country. There's a fire disaster that happened in Nyeri County, and over 17 students were killed, burned to death. The school is known as Hillside Indarachi Academy in Nyeri County, whereas they have said 17 died and many more are injured from burns. It was just total chaos. And that's why I'm saying ban Kenyan boarding schools. I repeat again, ban Kenyan boarding schools. For the young Gen Zs, first of all, I want to tell you what's the genesis, the history of boarding schools in Kenya. When Kenya was colonized, yes, we were colonized under the white man, the British colonialists to be exact. When they colonized us, the mindset was that African things were backward and evil and primitive. Let me use the word primitive and evil. So now, they try to keep African children in schools, put them in boarding, so that whatever they are taught, in their view, is not interfered with when these young men and when these young boys and girls go back to their homes in the villages. But even, so that they only go there during holiday, but most of the year, most of their young lives, they're in schools where they're taught anything British or Western is good. That's why these days when you have a young child, when they speak English very well, we clap. When they cannot speak their mother tongue, we don't care. We say that the world is changing. Yet the Chinese speak Chinese, Arabs speak Arabs, and so on. So that's why I'm saying ban Kenyan boarding schools. There should be a ban. Abolish. In fact, the right word should be abolish Kenyan boarding schools. Need to be abolished. And the reason is this. There have been many fire incidences, but I'm going to talk about some major ones in this country. In 1998, there was one that occurred at Bombolulu Girls in Kwale County, whereby 26 girls died in a fire dormitory. It's a dormitory incident, 26 died. Then there was number 2, Kianguli Secondary School, which was very horrific. 67 boys were burned to death. And then they suspected it was arson. Some of them caused the arson. You can Google and read. That is in 2001. Yes. And then we have Asumuli Girls Boarding School. Is it Asumuli, something like that, in 2012, where 8 girls were burned to death. And of recent is in 2017, Moi Girls here, in Kibera here, where I don't know, a number of girls were burned to death. So these are very horrific accidents that needs to be done, to be put to a stop. We cannot be losing young life in the 21st century because we have decided to destroy our education system, where we pack young people in so-called dormitories made out of wood, some of them iron sheets, or here mabati. They are very small, and then you pack 200 people in a very small space, a small space that rich people who live in, let's say in mansionettes, is whereby people pack 200 people in a mansionette of 4 bedrooms. It's where you pack over 200 people. That is criminal. So what are the major causes of these dormitory fires in Kenya? According to what has been documented from reports, investigations over the year, overcrowding of dormitories, they have said. You pack many people like sardines in a very small place. No emergency exits. They had passed a policy after the Kianguli fire disaster in 2001. The school should not have dormitories, should not have grills. They have grills. The doors should always be open, and closed inside, but they can be open from inside. They close them from outside because they fear these young people will go and I don't know to do what. So this is just madness. No firefighting equipment. Imagine if we're imagining if this dormitory like this one which happened today, those fire fighting equipment for extinguishing that people are trained, they would have immediately, as the fire was spreading, immediately just put it off and saved many lives. Very unfortunate. Slow response of emergency crew. So this current accident at Hillside Indirect Academy in Nyeri County is still under investigation. But what we have seen is a trend that there's a very slow response by emergency responders. They really come through, that is the ambulance and firefighters. Some of these schools are in a very remote areas. That's what I'm saying. Abolish Kenyan boarding schools. We don't need them now in the 21st century. Town centers, they can have many day schools with proper facilities and teach students. In the remote areas, rural areas whereby people are in remote areas, maybe, in fact, this one only applies to the pastoralist areas which are very sparsely populated. But in most areas of Kenya, people have their numbers, so day schools can easily work. You can build day schools in settlements where many people can access. That's one. Then in those pastoralist areas where you have these things of banditry and all that, they can be centers. Now that's why you can build boarding schools, which are well built with enough space, where students are under tight security to protect them from bandits and all that, and well built with those regulations by the government, isn't it? So that's what I'm saying. Abolish Kenyan boarding schools. And even these are days of virtual. That's why I'm against the CBC education system. It's killing our education. It's a wrong way of approaching education. Education should be about knowledge. And even these days of the 21st century, the less students spend time in class, the better. They should be learning practical skills. A school should have a school shamba, should have many other amenities, isn't it? So back to the dormitories. This is the 21st century. Don't need to be putting our young people into prisons. These boarding schools are more of prisons. I remember when I was younger, in my young days, I visited my friend in one of these top boarding schools, public boarding schools, a national school. It was like a prison. There's no space. That's why we have bad cultures developing this, I don't know, homosexuality, gazing, devil worship, because we are putting many people in one space. Human beings are supposed to have freedom and space. And then we have this one, what should be done? They have talked about the education system. Students should spend less time in school. Like they have always said, they enter school, let's say it's a day school, they enter at around 9 a.m. in the morning. Okay, let's talk of 7 a.m. in the morning, and by 3 p.m. in the afternoon they are through. They are away. Because in the morning classes, in the afternoon is just a bit of sports, clubs, life skill teaching, dancing, other activities, and then they go away. So that to create well-rounded individuals. So to me, these boarding schools have outlived their usefulness, and it's high time the government abolished them and did do away with them, except maybe in special cases like the pastoralist areas where there's banditry, and you need to keep children in a safe area, guarded by the security forces so that they can have the education. That's what I'm talking about. But in whole, abolish Kenyan boarding schools. That's my request, and that's my prayer. So today has been a sad day. I want to send my condolences to all the families that lost their loved ones in this Hillside Indirect Academy accident. It's very sad that someone loses such young lives, young people for the future of this country. I know this could have been avoided maybe if we do away with our boarding schools that are just like prisons, and also we embrace virtual learning, and then we also go full force into day schools, build good day schools with good facilities, with big ample space, so the students just go to school to learn and enjoy themselves and learn something new. A school should not be a prison and a place for death. It should be a place for knowledge, a place for interaction, and a place for growth, not a place for that brings pain and loss. So I pray for those families. Amen. So today I just want to thank you for watching my video, and please support my channel. This is the Professor Maima Show, and Gwaheri ya kuonana, Gwaheri.